Camera A. What's up, y'all? Look at this. Whoa, right? Pretty crazy. Still sick. Still feel like, I don't even know. Just don't feel good. But that hasn't stopped us before, and it won't stop us now. And it will never stop us. Alright, camera C. Camera C. Alright, you're not gonna see me for a second. Oh, wait. Wow, that tracking on that camera is insane, yo. Pottery Sunday. Green on. Okay. So I think I probably should have done, I think it's okay now. I think I'm in a good spot now where the camera isn't kind of getting all messed up and stuff. And I wonder if I could make this kind of look a little bit nicer too, but I think I got the green screen in a better situation than what we had yesterday. So I'm gonna just keep on cruising and we'll see where things go today. I got 3 pots for you guys today, so I'm gonna get right into that. Ideally, you would actually just stop here, right? Like in a perfect world, you're kind of done and you would just trim off this stuff. But I always like to kind of push it a little bit and see how far I can take the clay. And if it fails, you know it fails. And we always thank the clay. Thank you, clay, for this bump. And we will go on a quest to the top of the vessel here to create a nice cylinder. But for me, all my cylinders, you know, they always start off as like the little volcanoes, and you keep bringing in that base, and you bring in that base, and you bring in that base. And watch this. All right, camera B. Camera B. There we go. Oh, I took my eyes off the clay for a second. That's okay. You can see where it's on that top edge where I got a little bit too thin. But there you go. You got your pole cooking up here. Didn't even want to collapse properly. So we're gonna manually do it. Come here. Wow. We let go. And so sometimes, realistically what happened there is I went too thin on the top, and so when I was pulling out, it wasn't creating any tension, right? And so what I want is that tension to be created, so then it wants to naturally come down. But sometimes, especially with like hard clay, even though this is soft clay, so it's kind of weird that I did it, but I went too thin. But with hard clay, it really doesn't want to move, you know? All right, here we go, a little bit of water on this edge here. Camera C. And so you can kind of see what I'm doing on this bottom edge over here, just a little bit, right? Yeah, I haven't gotten to the Berserk armor part of the series yet. I feel like I was reading it a little bit ago, and then all of a sudden I kind of fell out of it, and I can't figure out where I left off, and I don't want to spend like 20 minutes like looking for where I left off at, you know? I think I have other things I'd rather do for right now, but one day I'll get back to it. Anyway, look at that. Pot number 1 there. Little demon, little demon. All right, we'll set this guy over here. Camera C. Camera B. All right, look at this, push that up. We're gonna go back down to the bottom, push it up. Oh, the microphone just gave the clay a little kiss there. And you got one more, but when you do this, you're gonna see that it's gonna wanna get really wonky really quick. Push it out forward in front of you a little bit, right? And then you can just go up straight from there. That's how you get it so it doesn't go completely off. And then when you're doing this, you can tilt it. I mean, you can get it pretty wild, right? But we only just want it up on this top, and then a little bend, and then whenever it starts to sort of jut out at you, just lower your hand a little bit faster, catch where it's bending, and then right when you get to the bottom, this is when you're pulling up with this hand, almost. And look at it, just propel that up, right? And again, it didn't collapse, man. I'm going too thin on this top edge. It did kind of dip inward. That's kind of cool looking, but I want it to be like totally collapsed in here. That works. Bum, 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 bum. All right, camera B. So you guys can see what happened here. So the cool thing about this form is that, like, sometimes it helps support itself. Like, you wouldn't be able to really get some of these underhangs without it, like, supporting itself, right? And so these little tendrils, they fold over on the inside there, and they end up supporting that exterior. Down, under, pick it back up. Ah, nice. Pick it back up. We don't want to go too much. Chill. I always feel like he's running across the edge there or something. If this comes down. When you're at this bottom, just go slow, guys. You know, imagine, embody your inner slug. Slowly pushing this in. There's going to be parts where this clay is going to want to kind of knock you off, right? But just overpower it. The clay is not going to be stronger than your whole body. I'm going in at that base right away, and then you got to see you want your what is it called? Your collar to feel like a pole. Like, look how drastic that collar is, right? You just got to go slow, calm, cool, and collected, and you can really get a nice pull for height almost out of your thing. Thinner and a little bit thicker on this bottom here. So we're just trying to equalize. So you can see we're not going to gain too much height out of this pole, but we are going to make it way more cylindrical. And there's almost like a little notch in between my middle and my pointer finger that I'm just dragging that clay through. And that's what helps me get that cylinder, you know, nice and prepared. I guess we will just go for it now. I feel like any thinner, I've been going way too thin on some of these recently. But we'll do something fun on this one. How about we start at the bottom? Slow down a little bit, guys. Spiral. And then we pause, right? And then when we pause, we're going to let it rotate a couple times. And then what it's going to do is it's going to cut off and make us a new spot. And so you can see how that bottom has a nice little spiral, really bringing some intention, right? And so now when we go to collapse it, it's really going to want to collapse right down on that center there. And so here we go. Take a deep breath. Here we go, guys. Start putting your fingers out a little bit. And look at it collapse down right on itself. Make sure your fingers are spread out wide. It looks okay. And here, camera C. Camera C. And so you guys can see, hold on, let me get my flashlight. So if you look on the inside here, you got a nice little spiral. I love the vortex. I love how this rim ends up becoming this almost this framing device for this vortex that's happening on the middle. Really, I think that a lot of times as potters we forget that, you know, the bottom or the interior of the pot is also just as important as the exterior. I'm on the wheel now. It's about to get real on the wheel. I always thought about doing a podcast where I have another person here and we're just talking about pottery, and I call it Hot Off the Wheel, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, I feel like if I'm looking at this one here, top is a little bit numb. I'm not feeling too much from it. Maybe I'll give that like a 3, okay? Now we're going towards the middle. I thought the twist was good on the interior. I got something cooking up in there. The vortex looks nice, so I'm gonna give that maybe like a 5. If we go to this bottom part here, look at those tendrils. Those tendrils are really launching up towards where that spiral is happening. I think that's pretty cool. I'll give that maybe like a 6. For me, I thought this looked crazy. All right, look. So this green Menards bucket ends up allowing this pot to just float in the air. How freaking cool is that, right? I thought it looks epic. All right, so these are the three pots I have for today. I'm thinking the top one's definitely the worst, but it's floating, so I gotta praise the floating. Oh, the one over here, I think this one is realistically the best. It has a really good, nice form, and it looks really intentional, even though it has some really nice loose elements. And then whoosh, this one right here, right? Yeah, this one, I gave this one maybe like a 4. I don't know, it has some cool elements, but they're not connecting like how it does on this one over here. But thanks guys so much for watching. All the best and strong mentality.
Deep